I'm Jeff Glore. There was a new rally in Ferguson, Missouri late this afternoon. Hundreds were inside a church addressing police actions and the death of Michael Brown last weekend. That happened one night after this, a confrontation after a curfew began that ended with tear gas in Ferguson. Missouri's governor said today that curfew will be in place again tonight. The Department of Justice also said today they're ordering another autopsy on Brown's body. Vladimir Duthiers is in Ferguson.
Galvanized by the death of Michael Brown at the hands of police, hundreds rallied in a Ferguson church this afternoon. It was an emotional show of support for his family and a strong endorsement for Captain Ronald Johnson, the state-appointed head of security for Ferguson and a native son.
You are my family, you are my friends, and I am you.
But for the past week, the public image of Ferguson has been one of civil unrest. Trouble that led to a state-ordered curfew that began overnight.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
For much of the evening, hundreds of people lined one of Ferguson's main streets, loudly but peacefully demanding justice. But as heavy rains moved through and the deadline drew nearer, many left. Only a core of mostly young people vowed to stay, despite a heavy police presence and a midnight deadline.
At 12:01, we'll be here. We got the same ammunition you got. We live.
In the same crowd, several groups did their best to convince angry protesters to not confront police.
Let's go get some rest for the fight.
You are violating the state-imposed curfew.
But an hour into the curfew, police moved heavily armored equipment and combat-ready officers into position. Authorities say they had received a report of armed men in a restaurant, spotted a man with a handgun, and received the report of a gunshot victim. When protesters would not clear the way for police to reach the scene, they fired a volley of smoke bombs. Protesters were defiant, taunting police, some throwing back the canisters that landed at their feet.
Now you can see crowd starting to run away. There go more launches.
After about an hour, authorities had made 7 arrests and dispersed the crowd. Captain Ron Johnson had promised that the curfew would not be enforced with military-style tactics. But in an extraordinary 3 a.m. news conference, Johnson said in this case, the use of force was justified.
I tell you, we have a shooting victim that's in critical condition that may lose their life. We had a subject standing in the middle of the road with a handgun. We had a police car shot at tonight. And yes, I think that was a proper response tonight to maintain officer safety and public safety.
And Jeff, you can see right behind me, there are several police officers that have gathered. Just moments ago, there were hundreds more, including Captain Ronald Johnson. He was giving them a sort of a pep talk as they prepare to go out onto the streets of Ferguson once again tonight to enforce that curfew.
Vladimir Duthiers, thank you.